Good morning, everybody. This is our walk and talk with the girls as we do our astrology weather forecast for the 8th of September, 2025. So the moon comes into Cancer today at 10:05, I believe, Eastern Time. We don't have a lot going on other than a trine, very close trine, from Mars to Ceres. Don't much talk about the minor or major asteroids much in transit, but I thought I would today because there just isn't much going on. And when we have perfect aspects, even if they are to planetoids, asteroids, minor bodies in the solar system, they do have a louder voice, impact, resonance. Anything that's in an exact orb or very, very close orb is going to be impactful. One of the most acute things that we have going on either in transit or in natal charts or in synastry, composite. It's always the same thing. The closer the orb, the more acute the happening. So with the moon in Cancer, that's a real natural place for the moon to be. The sign that the moon rules. It's easier when we have signs that are hosting the planet that they resonate most with. So the moon rules that sign of Cancer, and it performs that function well as a result. The intimacy, the belonging that we seek, it is very emotional and moody. It is a moody, changeable sign. The moon waxes and wanes and has that female yin principle to it, where it's mysterious. You never know which way it's going to go, because it does have that fickle moodiness, changeableness to it. The sun is the solar timing, the timing over a year. The moon, that's the feminine timing, the yin timing. So the solar timing is the masculine principle of steadiness, regularity. So it's an interesting influence that the moon is in a tender sign, because we have a tender Mars going on. Mars is in Sagittarius, so it performs well because it's a fire sign. Mars is a fire planet. So again, same principle is the reason the moon is doing well in Cancer. Performs a function because it has that elemental match. It performs a function very well. So Mars is very racy in Sagittarius. We run, we jump, we explore. It's a very fearless, forward, I would say risk-taking Mars, maybe sometimes even more so than in Aries. Be very productive in that sign. So the trine to Ceres. Interesting stuff here. The mother of Proserpina, Ceres, the goddess of the harvest, grains, agriculture, regular plantings and harvestings. She's an interesting goddess because she sure didn't let things go. She was very, very set on getting back what was taken from her at all cost. Very different character from Sedna, which we spoke about yesterday. I think it's interesting that they both Our goddesses of abundance, they go about it very differently. Sedna is more a goddess of natural abundance. Combing and communing with the earth in a way where one is not expending massive amounts of personal energy. It isn't a feast or famine when she's appeased. But Ceres, even under the best of circumstances, we're still gonna get abundance and lack. The seasons, that preparation for the harvest, agricultural toil, or hierarchical systems. I've always had a hard time with that word. And preparation for storage, for being without. There's a regularity and a contract that is a part of the nature of Ceres. It's a lot of contracts that go into our life when we're dealing with those periods of feast and famine. And we appease it with animal sacrifice. Girls, we're going this way. Ceres required that. She was a goddess of animal sacrifice. You can see that with Sedna. You have to sacrifice your time, your care, your attention, your comb. But with Ceres, she takes a big price. She takes a piece of your labor. That's what it takes to raise an animal. It can take a lot of input. Feed, time, attention, and then you cleave it off. You sacrifice it. You don't get anything out of that particular container of energy. And there's some brutality that's involved in that too. So Ceres is interesting because she's also the mother of Proserpina. You know, the whole spirit a bitch off to the underworld and expect that she's going to be happy story. So she is the mother of contractual arrangements and relationships that are based on the idea of potential lack or a lot more than we need. No material arrangements. The kind of relationships with nature, the kind of relationships with each other, kind of marriage and romantic relationships that are about survival, ownership. The fulfillment of contract. So it's an interesting theme for today. Mars being in a trine to Ceres. There's a willingness to put our energy into support, care, what we've said we would do. And because it's a trine, it's easier to live up to those things. It doesn't feel like a ball and a chain, which Ceres sure can in hard aspects and certain configurations. And we can feel like we've got a lot of the material boxes checked off. But do we really want to be there? Do we really want that job? Do we really want that relationship? Do we really want that child? Or are we just checking off the boxes, living out our contract, waiting for the abundance that maybe we thought we were getting? Maybe it was there in the beginning. Maybe it doesn't come regular. Hard aspects to Ceres can show some of the minor paragraphs, as all the asteroids do, planetoids. Minor paragraphs in the novel of our life, or the stories, the minor stories within the story. So today we have a great relationship with spontaneity, running on faith, having our passion stirred by what's around the next bend. It's such an adventurous place for Mars to be in Sagittarius. So we want to put our back and our energy into supporting, caring, acting with kind concern towards what it was that we signed up for. Who it is that we're going to try to harmonize with. Because trines, harmony's easy. And we may be able to sublimate our ego to some degree today to deal with those, at work or at play or in our personal lives, that need a little something more, maybe a little TLC, little extra time, attention, acknowledgement. Because we don't feel that we want to keep our energy. We want to put our passions into supporting, giving. And for some of us, that could be just a little thing. Ceres is not a huge influence. If you already have a lot of Cancer or maternal energy configuration signs in your chart, you can embrace this more fully and make bigger overtures. But if not, it may be as simple as deciding to sit on the couch for an extra hour because the cat's fallen asleep on your lap and You don't want to disturb her. It can come out that simply. So that's what I got for today, guys. Hope you have an excellent day. Let me know what you think of this format for the weather forecast. And I will see you guys tomorrow.